Hey Leap Inspire family, hold on tight because part 3 of our heart-pounding saga is about to drag you into a whirlwind of emotions. And if this story sets your soul on fire, smash that subscribe button to join our crew for more tales that'll leave you breathless, so click that video on your screen to keep the journey alive. Last night's part 2 left us reeling. Ana, battered and trembling under Rudra's towering rage, her desperate pleas and tear-streaked eyes piercing the fog of his twisted desires, stopping him just before he crossed a line that would have shattered her beyond repair, his bitter whisper, "You made me this, Ana," echoing as he fled, drowning his guilt in liquor, the shards of a broken bottle mirroring the wreckage of his soul. Now, as the clock creeps past 1 a.m. in the sprawling, shadowed mansion, Ana moves through the darkened halls like a ghost, her body throbbing with pain from the bruises staining her torso. Each step a sharp reminder of Rudra's cruelty, her throat so dry it feels like swallowing sand. The soft, lavender-scented shawl, his mother's, a woman whose kindness was a beacon in this cold place, clings to her shoulders, its warmth a fragile shield against the chill seeping through the marble floors, wrapping her in a faint sense of safety she hasn't felt since that night. She reaches the kitchen, her hands trembling as she fills her empty water bottle, drinking deeply to soothe the ache, the cold liquid a fleeting relief against the fire in her chest. A sudden, deafening crash of glass shatters the silence, ripping through the stillness like a scream, echoing from the bar area and pulling her toward it like a magnet, her heart pounding in her ears. Her mind screams to flee, to lock herself away from the man who bruised her body and spirit, but her feet betray her, carrying her toward the sound, her breath hitching as she steps into the dim glow of a single lamp. There stands Rudra, a dark silhouette amidst a sea of shattered glass, an empty bottle smashed at his feet, his right hand dripping crimson, blood trailing across the floor like a river of regret. His reflection in the liquor cabinet's glass reveals a man haunted, his eyes hollow, tormented, as he mutters, "How could you, Rudra?" His voice raw, cracking with self-loathing, the weight of his near assault on Ana heavy in the air. Ana freezes, her pulse racing, every instinct urging her to run, to leave this monster to bleed in the mess he's made, but her heart, that infuriating, stubborn whisper, catches on the blood, the way his hand trembles, the way his shoulders slump under an invisible burden. Something stirs within her, a tangled mix of pity, defiance, and a flicker of something she can't name. She turns, retrieves a first aid kit and a small jar of turmeric from the kitchen, and returns, her slippers crunching over the glass as she lowers herself beside him on the cold floor, the shards glinting like stars in a cruel sky. Without a word, she takes his hand, her fingers steady despite the bruises he left on her arms, her ribs, her soul, carefully pulling glass slivers from his skin, each one clinking into a small pile, the sound sharp in the heavy silence. His eyes, dark and unreadable, trace the purple marks on her skin, exposed as the shawl slips slightly, and for a moment, his gaze softens, guilt, shame, or something else, but hers burns with anger, defiant, unbroken, a silent challenge that dares him to look at what he's done. She applies turmeric to his wounds, ignoring his sharp hiss of pain, her movements precise, a quiet rebellion against his power over her, each dab of the yellow powder a reclaiming of her strength. She wraps his hand in a bandage, her fingers brushing his skin, and as she stands to leave, he grabs an ointment tube from the kit, his voice low, almost hesitant. "Apply this." Her lips twist in disdain, her voice cutting like a blade. "Why give me wounds if you're going to hand me the medicine yourself?" Before she turns, the shawl wrapping her like armor, leaving him alone in the wreckage, his reflection staring back, a man drowning in the shadows of his own making. A month drags by, the mansion a pressure cooker of unspoken hatred, their interactions reduced to clipped necessities. Rudra's voice cold and commanding when he deigns to speak, Anna's silence a fortress she's built to protect what's left of her heart. Guilt festers within her, a heavy weight over Jack's banishment, ordered by Rudra after their altercation, a wound she feels responsible for, though she buries it deep, unable to voice the shame that gnaws at her. Tanny, Rudra's best friend, becomes her sanctuary, her warmth and laughter a lifeline in the office, where Ana escapes his watchful eye. Her coffee chats with Tanny a rare moment of lightness in a world of shadows. Rudra's possessive rules suffocate her. No speaking to male staff, not out of care but ownership, as if she's a possession he's paid a steep price for, a trophy to be controlled. One afternoon, as they sip coffee, papers scatter across the floor, and Ana bends to gather them, only to collide with a stranger, Akshat, a key stakeholder with deep brown eyes framed by long lashes, a chiseled jaw, and a well-groomed beard, his sun-kissed skin glowing under the office lights, his gaze lingering on her lips a moment too long, sending a shiver of fear through her. If Rudra finds out, he'll twist it, blame her as always, painting her as the seductress, the memory of that night. His hands on her, his rage, still a raw scar in her mind, paralyzing her. Tanny introduces her as Rudra's personal assistant, warning Akshat to keep his distance, but he's intrigued, calling her beautiful, his voice low and dangerous, stirring a mix of flattery and dread that knots her stomach. Ana bites her tongue, staying silent, but seizes a chance to prove herself, suggesting they redesign old stock with a modern traditional fusion, saving fabric and reviving last year's inventory. Her sketches pour out, lines and curves blending Western elegance with traditional motifs, her hands trembling with a mix of fear and hope as she hands them to Akshat. He and Tanny are stunned, her confidence flickering to life, her heart soaring at their praise, until Rudra sees the designs, his eyes scanning the pages before dismissing them with a curt, "Not up to the mark." His words a knife to her fragile pride, another blow to keep her small. Back at the mansion, Arav, Rudra's 5-year-old son, is a burst of light in her darkness, calling her Bambi. With a grin that melts her heart, his innocent affection a balm to her wounds, his tiny hand slipping into hers as he shows her his sketchbook, pages overflowing with vibrant drawings far beyond his years. One sketch stops her cold, a man, a baby, an elderly woman, and an empty chair, a haunting depiction of his family, the vacant seat a silent cry for his mother. Another drawing shows Ana in that chair, completing the circle, and her heart aches, knowing he sees her as the mother he's lost, a role Rudra will never allow. Rudra, overhearing, snaps, "She's not family, Arav, she's a maid." His voice sharp, cutting deeper than the glass that would soon mark her, the word, maid, a brand that burns. Arav's defiance, calling her Bambi, after his favorite cartoon, softens the sting, his stubborn love a quiet rebellion against his father's cruelty. One evening, as Arav plays beneath a grand chandelier, its crystals glinting like stars, it sways ominously, creaking under its own weight. Anna's heart stops, time slowing as she sees the danger, and without a second thought, she throws herself over his small frame, shielding him as the chandelier crashes, a jagged shard slicing deep into her right leg. Blood pools beneath her, soaking her dress, pain searing through her body like fire, but Arav is safe, his cries muffled against her chest as she cocoons him, her own pain secondary to his safety. Rudra, frozen for a heartbeat, snaps into action, his face pale, eyes wide with something she's never seen, fear. He lifts her, blood dripping onto his arms, and carries her to the car, rushing her to the hospital, his touch uncharacteristically gentle, his voice firm, but not cruel, as he barks orders to the driver. "Drive fast!" At the hospital, nurses swarm, cleaning the deep gash, the blood sticky and warm against her skin, and as they stitch her wound, Ana clutches Rudra's hand, her nails digging into his flesh with each agonizing prick, her breath ragged, tears spilling despite her efforts to hold them back. He doesn't flinch, doesn't pull away, letting her transfer every ounce of pain into his skin, his eyes locked on her pale, trembling face, a silent anchor in the storm of her agony. The doctor warns she can't walk for days, the wound too deep, and Rudra carries her back to the mansion, setting her gently in her room, propping pillows behind her back, his fingers lingering as he tucks a stray hair behind her ear. "I'm only doing this because you saved my son," he says, his voice gruff, but his actions betray a softness she's never seen, a crack in his armor that unsettles her. Days pass, confined to bed, with Kiara, the kind-hearted maid, tending to her like a sister, bringing food, helping with basic needs, easing Anna's fears of resentment over Jack's departure, her warmth a quiet comfort in the sterile mansion. Arav visits daily, his drawings and chatter filling the room with life, his tiny voice calling her Bambi, as he shows her a sketch of their family, with Ana in his mother's place, a vision that breaks her heart, knowing it's a dream Rudra will never allow. Rudra's absence is conspicuous, his presence replaced by a strange sensation at night. As if someone lingers in her room, a silent guardian watching over her sleep, though no one is there when she wakes, her nightmares quieter than usual, a mystery she can't unravel. Arav's defiance grows, mimicking his father's commanding tone, but with a child's innocence, his sketchbook a window into his longing for a complete family, a void Rudra's wealth can't fill. When Arav tops his class, Rudra promises a family picnic, and Arav insists Ana join, his pout and tears wearing down Rudra's resistance, his small voice declaring, "I want Bambi with us." Rudra relents, his jaw tight, and the day dawns golden, a secluded farmhouse bathed in sunlight, Anna's homemade cookies delighting Arav as they laugh and play on the grass, the air warm with the scent of wildflowers. Rudra, in a rare moment of softness, frees her hair from its bun, his fingers grazing her cheek, muttering, "Perfect," his eyes intense, burning into hers with a hunger she can't decipher. During a game of chase, with Ana as the finish line, Arav wins, demanding a kiss as his reward, planting one on her cheek and urging her to kiss Rudra too, his innocent giggle oblivious to the tension. Ana hesitates, Rudra's smirk daring her, but Arav's playful push brings their faces inches apart, her breath catching as fear and anticipation collide. Rudra seizes the moment, pinning her against a tree, his lips crashing onto hers with urgent intensity, her back pressed to the rough bark, his hand steady on her shoulder and waist, fingers brushing her neck, setting her skin ablaze. Ana freezes, stunned, her body betraying her as she kisses him back, her first kiss a storm of fear, anger, and forbidden warmth, his tongue teasing her lips, drawing a moan she can't suppress, her hands on his chest, torn between pushing him away and pulling him closer. Arav's shout breaks them apart, Rudra pulling back with a smug, "Yes, with extra incentives," his voice low and deliberate, leaving Ana touching her lips, reeling in shock and shame. How could she kiss the man who nearly destroyed her, whose bruises still mark her skin? The picnic ends, the mansion's walls closing in again, her heart torn between hatred and a dangerous spark she can't name, the memory of his lips burning into her soul, a question haunting her. Is there redemption in a monster's heart, or is she falling into a trap she can't escape? The farmhouse fades into the distance as they drive back, Arav's chatter filling the silence, but Anna's mind is a storm, replaying the kiss, Rudra's touch, the way his eyes soften for a fleeting moment, only to harden again. She glances at him, his hands tight on the steering wheel, his jaw clenched, and wonders what lies beneath the man who both saves and breaks her. Back at the mansion, Arav runs to his room, clutching his toy car, leaving Ana and Rudra in a heavy silence, the air thick with unspoken words. She moves to leave, but his voice stops her, low and rough. Anna. She turns, her heart pounding, expecting another barb, but his eyes are different, haunted, almost human. Thank you, he says, barely audible. For Arav. She nods, unable to speak, and slips away, the shawl still around her shoulders, a reminder of the kindness she clings to in this house of shadows. As she lies in bed at night, the strange presence lingers again, a silent watchman in the dark, and she wonders if it's Rudra or just her mind playing tricks, weaving hope where there should be none. Hey Leap Inspire family, Part 4 is live on our Hope Nation channel. Click the video to see where this tangled tale leads, and subscribe to never miss a heartbeat of this drama.